Okay. The great Lila and Thoth.
Now, that was so sweet.
Yeah.
That was very sweet. Now listen, darlings. I wanted to start playing introduction videos for when I bring artists on, so that people can see what they're doing. And we talked a few days ago about you sending me one, and you didn't. So I did some digging, and and I found some. Now, while I'm playing, I want to play the clip for people so they understand the degree of what's going on here. And while I'm playing that, Thoth, my digging also revealed your American Idol stuff, which I want to talk about. With your permission, I want to play the video, but that's not what I'm going to play now. So think about it.
Do I have to watch this?
Yeah, well, that's the point. Just think about that. I won't play it without your permission, but I do want to discuss.
They can do whatever you want. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah, it brought up massive emotions. It brought up massive emotions for me. So I wanted to... Anyway, let me just play quick. I want to play. It was either going to be Symphony or your official music video. Any preferences? It was going to be Pentagram, or your Tribal Boutique Gypsy Dance, the official video. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick this one because it's yeah. So I'm going to pick that, and then I'm going to play it. Okay.
Oh, this is
la luna, hey, la pires a la luna, bella tuya, bella tabon, bella bella sa tuya how.
I'm exhausted. Not any longer.
All that dancing.
Wow. So, what do you have to say about that? I mean, can you explain that?
Yeah, it synced more that way than it is.
That's from a long time ago. That piece that's one of our. We made that piece, Gypsy Dance, in Marrakesh when we were starving out of money,
and no money.
No friends, no nothing.
Attacked by vendors.
Yeah. We were dancing around in the streets, and we played in this cafe, and people would dance in the streets to our music. So we just came up with this fun little ditty that we then recorded in Portugal in this music video that someone saw us play somewhere and said, I want to make a music video of you. And they took us to Sintra and we made the music video there. So that's from 10 years ago.
Firstly, it's fucking amazing. Secondly, I want to help you make any music videos you want.
That's the only one we have.
So what your music does to me is exactly what I was depicting in the dance. I normally just, when I play a video or music, I just let it go, right? And it goes. I can't help but to feel the depths of expression when you conjure. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, we are doing it all right.
Really, what are we doing?
I would say that the clearest thing is playing exactly what we feel exactly. There's no filter. There's no interpretation that's in the way that we have to get to. We just do our spirit, and that's that. And
there's nothing in the way.
What's interesting about it is that she and I can do that with each other, and it syncs, and that's unbelievable. That's the epitome of the definition of our love and our relationship together.
It's been that way for 10 years.
It's been that way exactly when she met me.
Ever since we started.
Just after the America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Just after the what?
Right after America's Got Talent.
He's got one of those blocks on it. The sound is.
Yeah, in fact, she saw me on America's Got Talent just briefly. In fact.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were on it until I did some research.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't. Why would I talk about it?
No, well, exactly. But I think it's a lot of emotions came up for me watching that, and that's why I wanted your permission to play it, because it rallied a lot of things inside me. And one of the things that I appreciate so much about your work, your performance, is the unapologetic authenticity of it.
Mm.
And it does something of a kind of radical unfolding in my being, like I'm not alone in being a weirdo.
Yes, thank you. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you.
We love you, Markabadi.
Can you? I appreciate it, but I want to know about you.
Love it first touch too.
We were very silly together.
We were so in with each other so quickly.
Silently going, oh,
tell us about this kind of that radical, unapologetic, fuck you authenticity of the divine.
Well, we just played in the tunnel today. We play every day in the park, regardless of the orders and whatever. And
it's healthier.
It's healthy for us, and it's good for other people. And I was feeling that today while we were singing. I was just feeling this. I don't care what I might look like to other people, or what people might be thinking about how I'm expressing myself. It just, I need to move the way I'm moving. I need to move my hands the way I'm moving them. I need to emote vocally, and I just do whatever it is I need to do. And I find that that is the most beautiful thing as a human being that you can do. And it does impact people in a way that they just go, wow, you're just doing without needing anybody to say anything or approve of you or applaud for you, or that genuine expression that comes through, it really feels genuine because you're doing it. I'm doing it because I need to, not because I feel like doing it a certain way is going to get a certain kind of response. And I find that when I first watched him play, that immense vulnerability and really raw expression just like completely turned me on. It just exploded my mind. I'd never seen anybody perform like that.
I born before civil rights. I experienced, before I came to my epiphany at 8, I experienced people throwing shit at my family through some of the cars, being that we were mixed race. And that affected me immensely. It turned me into a self-hating monster because I thought that they were hating me. I didn't understand the politics of the fact that they hated the miscegenation of my parents. They hated the mixedness of my parents. They hated that we were a family of mixed race. I thought of myself as the bringer on of this stuff. And I went to a place of self-hatred over a period of 30 years that could have ended in my annihilation. But then I had a near-death experience, and that caused me to, and a self-created one, in which I heard a voice of what I might call an angel tell me that I have more work to do. And that process of knowing and learning to love self from such a place of self-hatred makes me could not care less about what people think. It just you know what, everybody has hated me, so I'm there. I'm loving, and I will refuse not to be the most loving being I can possibly be. So that's how.
Wonderful. I mean, I think there is that. I think that inside that the origin, and Lila, you've also come from this element of being rejected for who you are, for your art, for your creatism, and to still maintain a vulnerability inside the prayer. Really unites opposites together in such a beautiful way. A real kind of I really feel a union inside the happening that is your prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings to you.
Oh, we are.
Are you playing that horrible clip now?
Oh.
I want your permission to. I haven't heard your permission.
Well, you have my permission, yeah.
So
I want to play it. To watch it.
Yeah, well, you can close your eyes. It's only 1 minute, whatever. But the reason I want to play it is because the amount of courage that it took for you to go on and you went on in a particular outfit that was gonna challenge. And I think you were in New York or something, Jamaica. What's that?
It's Hollywood.
Hollywood. Okay. So maybe, less rejectory. I thought initially it was like Texas or something. And I'm like, fucking hell. There's some real bravery, real courage. And I just thought it was interesting what happened. And it brought up such emotions for me that I wondered, what it brought up for you with regards to your journey and your thing. So with your permission, I'd love to play it.
Yes.
All right. Let's go find it. And then we can talk about it and have a wibble wobble. All right, so there's that.
Thoth, how did you think it went, Thoth?
It doesn't matter how I think it went.
Okay, well, I'll tell you how I think it went. You wandered around looking ridiculous, making a crazy wailing noise.
Could I just ask, what language were you singing in?
It's the language I've invented.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh my God, it looked like something like Apocalypto Now with a violin and you're singing in a language you made up. It was very, very entertaining, but very kind of scary. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, it's a no from me.
Right.
I would say yes, but it doesn't count because there's two against me.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, that for me, when I watched it today, it really enraged me.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm sorry you had to force you to watch that again. It's 10 years on. I thought it was a good anniversary gift.
It actually is. It really, it's like, whoa, that's interesting.
First off, what a hottie Amazonian ninja you are. Fuck. You know, all right, yeah.
Oh my God.
What a hottie.
Oh my God.
But I mean, to go out, first off, like you could have gone out in a tux, right, and sang it, and it would have been easier for them to hear it, right? They would have heard it more readily.
Yeah, they would have.
You were in a fucking tux, not a feather, a tux and a bow tie, and your violin, you come out and you stand all dignitary, and then you do it. The same fucking thing would have been digestible more for those fearful, stuck up, you know. And so and I've noticed that your performance, as it's developed now, I mean, that was sort of pre-Lila, but as it's developed and now incorporated this sort of masculine, feminine double unfolding that you both hold for each other, there still is fear that's generated up in the performance, I've noticed. And I'm not a fearful person, but I noticed that there are things that come up in the performance that make me feel fear somewhere. Do you care to talk about that? Because clearly all of them felt fear. Oh, it was very entertaining, a little scary. What are you scared of?
Yeah, they all felt fear as soon as I came out. They were.
Oh, they were, yeah.
They were fearful.
So I'm not just talking about that, but I'm talking about the work you do, the prayer that you deliver touches parts of the universe that people are afraid of. What is that?
I have no idea.
What happens for you? I mean, I would never expect there to be fear coming up in you at all.
Well, I mean, not really for me. I don't really do fear, but if I did, I can imagine other people being afraid of it because it's unknown and it's powerful and it generates vortices inside.
Sometimes, yeah.
So that's what I mean. It's like there's a vortex that it's been created that's different from just singing and performing. It's like something magical is happening in the prayer that you offer. What is that?
Yeah, I would say it's the opening up to pure. We are able to touch people from a distance by using the sound, and people are shocked at the fact that something that they don't understand is touching them and making them cry or making them have feelings. At this day and age, it's really interesting because we really have come into a time where people have to stay socially separate, and that we're still touching people is very, very powerful work right now. Because for the most part, when you experience a lot of musicians, they're just playing a thing that kind of a template thing, and we're coming from a place where we reach inside people's hearts and give them a twist, and they're like, how did they do that?
Because we're not touching them.
We're not touching them.
Interacting with people. And these days
we're further than 6 feet away.
Yeah. These days we're especially
So how do you do it?
Yeah.
What is you don't know?
No. It's the
level of I would almost say the level of honesty of our connection with those feelings. and to be so connected with them that we can intone with our notes and our music exactly those feelings, and then they just transmit them to the other.
I think it's also a thing of
Am I leaning over really hard?
maybe.
No.
I think it also could be that we've been on the outside all our lives. We've been on the outskirts of life all our life. We've, just barely hanging on, clinging to each other and the dark night of the soul, just going through a lot of really deep, painful isolation, just a lot of hard, we've gone through a lot in our life. Just being on the edge of the world, surviving by going out and expressing ourselves in this way. And it makes, I think it makes us incredibly expressive people, that we want to fight for our voice, and we want to fight for our ability to share that, because we've had to fight to continue. We've had to fight to keep going. And I think that brings in us a lot of potency and a lot of emotion, and a lot of different kinds of emotions that we put into our music. And it's not like anything anybody has seen before. And so it's almost like they get struck by the intensity of it.
Right.
The most powerful thing that we do in terms of our work is we can make strangers cry. We've had several experiences in the park. Just recently, people just sobbing.
And that's open, like showing us,
because
there are people
sobbing.
who turn away and run away from us when
Right.
that happens.
Yeah, because they get touched somewhere and they're like, oh, I can't, I'm scared. I'm scared of, I think what the fear is fear of feeling the depths of which, of what gets resonated with.
Mm-hmm.
Like in your prayer, it creates a resonant field that highlights something inside of me. I can only speak for me. The emotions that are there's part of me that's worried about those emotions, because I was kind of like unaware of them until I'm in this field of of resonance with you.
It's also it's also incredibly unexpected. Because we perform we're completely hidden.
It happened with you unexpectedly too, Mark.
I was upstairs in my room. I just heard this experience, and me and Z ran downstairs to find you.
Yeah.
So it's a completely, it's an intense experience that happens for most people in a very random, out of the blue way. They're not prepared for it. We're rarely ever in spaces where someone, or in some situation where people can be prepared, or they're coming prepared, like they know this is going to be intense, this is going to be emotional, this is going to cause a lot of feelings and a lot of tears possible to flow, and they don't know that. So when they come upon us, it's just completely, and some people take it and run with it and just fall in love with the music and fall in love with what we're doing, and other people get real scared and run away.
Yeah.
So you can kind of say that our music is a challenge. We are challenging people when we go out and express ourselves, but that's not the intention when we're doing it. It's a side effect.
What is the intention?
Say that again.
What is the intention?
What is the intention? What is the intention of your...
The intention is to be.
Just to be.
It's like
What?
Okay. What you like to perform in tunnels? Why?
That speaks specifically to your resonant field, because in a tunnel, the resonant field becomes entrained, and then we can vibrate all the other tunnels and all the other resonant spaces on the planet, basically.
So it's a kind of magic you're doing, particularly to tunnels.
Yeah, it resonates. The universe is a wavelength that is vibrating, and we're just, when we tap into the performance and we really start flowing with it, we really feel like we're intoning the universe, we're intoning the gods, we're intoning with the angels. Even if there's nobody there watching us, we can really feel the vibration of the angels around us and the spirits and the trees and the flowers. And people who really pay attention to our work can see, when we play in public spaces, they can see how the light responds to us, how the trees and the birds will respond to our music, and the air, particles in the air act differently. And we don't know this is happening. It's just the act of fully being without a filter and doing it boldly in a public space where nobody's expecting it. There's nobody is expecting to see a fully embodied theatrical expression in a public park, in a public space, with voices that are so strong and so in your face. We're not like little tinkly voices. We have these really powerful, like fucking intense voices.
Pretty shocking too.
And that's really intense for people. We're used to that. That's how we sing. That's how we are together. But for people, nobody hears voices like ours. People hear, pop voices and R&B and that kind of stuff, and very weak voices in modern music. And our voices are not. They're operatic. That's the only way I can describe.
Absolutely, radical operatic.
Yeah.
Do you feel you're doing a service? I mean, above and beyond, like, playing for people on the street. I mean, is there a cause behind your service?
Yeah.
Well, come on then. Yeah. What do you think it is? One word answers. Make a magic 8-ball, love. Come on.
We have an opportunity to, through us being fully awake, it's an act of being fully awakened, fully manifested in front of other people, in a random, kind of seemingly random space at a random time, in front of random strangers, and we're being fully present, fully manifested, fully embodied people. I am my full unicorn self. He is his full monster, bi-gender, freaking whatever he is. We're that full, self, without anything, hiding it or distorting it. I forgot what I was saying.
Well, it's about, like, what's the point of your service?
And that fully embodiment, it's a mirror for people, and it gives people the hope. It gives the possibility of other people waking up.
Right. And even themselves, right?
And going, oh my God, they can do this. I can do, I can do blah, blah, whatever.
Maybe that's the call, the fear, the call to be.
Yeah, because they go, oh no, but I can't be that.
Called to be their full selves. Maybe
Right.
That's the fear.
Right. And that would make sense to why I would even feel the fear, because I don't fear much, apart from, probably failing, the generic one, not being good enough at being the magical me. And seeing, and it's more than seeing. It's almost like a realization when the experience of your prayer happens. And there's something in that, I think, that mirror. I think that was beautifully said, Lila. The mirror that other people start to see how they could be authentic.
Yeah, I'm not hoping for anybody to do anything or express anything. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah,
I need to do it, but.
Well, that's part of your prayer, right? Is that you're not doing it with an intent to change, to operate on. The prayer itself is the point.
Yeah. Exactly.
And in a way, you're almost religious sort of like monks without the religion, like, you know.
Yeah,
Do
but
you
I don't.
feel like
Yeah, I
that?
wouldn't call us religious either. But we are monks.
We're art monks.
Yeah.
Art monks. Yeah. I mean, do you feel like that as sort of sacred, sacred mirrors?
Yeah, I feel like that. Sacred mirrors.
Sacred mirrors, sacred musicians, sacred artists.
Sacred muse mirrors. Music.
It's just it's part. I mean, it gives us life. It gives us purpose. It gives us meaning. It expands us away from fear or doubt or worry or thinking about anything besides. It just brings us completely into the present moment when we do it. And you know, like I remember when I first saw him play, and it was just I'd never seen anybody be so like, fuck everything. I'm just gonna fucking do what I want to do, and I don't care if you like it or not. I'm just gonna do it. And now I'm the same way, and it's just amazing. He's been an amazing teacher for me. I'm so blessed to have a teacher like him who.
I didn't want to be, by the way.
No.
What did you say?
I didn't want to be a teacher.
No.
You can't help it when you're a monk, my friend. You've got to.
And I have to say that I'm fairly proud of my patients. I was untested in certain things.
I'm proud of how I dealt with Lila. Is that right? I'm proud of my fucking patient.
Very proud. It's she came to me and with a very puffed up sense of self, and it wasn't really herself. It was part of her family upbringing, and so she tended to sing a lot and sing. And over a time of learning to converse, of learning to give and take, of really sharing, and she's grown a lot, and that's been an amazing thing for me to honoring myself that I helped her get to this place of development. So it's quite something for me.
And when I saw that, you know, I saw that America's Got Talent video right after, like, the day I met him, and it just filled me with rage because I felt so precious, and you know, this precious being is being bludgeoned, is being stoned, and it just filled me with rage that this angelic presence was being abused. And you know, I've seen through life together that that's what happens a lot of the time when you're an original. You do get stoned and you do get isolated,
Right.
But it's all been worth it because I got married to this guy, and I would have never thought.
I don't even know where my ring is.
Somebody said, "You're gonna marry this guy." That video that I saw, somebody pointed to that video and said, "You're gonna marry that guy." Be like, no way. What? You're gonna have this life of running around and traveling and never having a home of your own and playing in public spaces and being, you know. I never thought that would be my life.
So, yeah, no. The thing about the America's Not Got Talent is the you know, where was the curiosity? Where was the compassionate curiosity for listening and for hearing? And again, I think really it's a depiction of fear. It was the main thing. It's like it was too much for people to digest in any way that enabled them to be able to hear the magic that was present.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, you know, we've come a long way in 10 years, and of course, moving from New York to California, where you are now, in San Francisco, and the Bay Area is quite progressive. Are you finding that people are wanting to come and spend time with you in a kind of therapeutic, how do I embody being myself, like you embody being yourselves kind of way? Like, are you holding those spaces for people? Are you thinking about that? Because I think that like to me, like spending a weekend with you two, lurging into mirrors, would be like a very therapeutic and growthing process. Is that something you're doing?
We talked to you about it, I think, a little bit. We haven't talked about it recently because the nature of life has changed so much.
Right.
But it could be quite interesting to have a period of time holding space for people to really just explore this and have us as guides to just really explode.
Yeah. We have thought about this. We were talking about it a few months ago before the whole shelter in place thing came out, that it'd be lovely to hold space for individuals or small groups and help people just get out what it is they need to get out in a safe space. And then at some point even challenge people to come out in the public space and express and really, let that go.
Yeah. I was thinking of Amanda Sage and what she's doing with the Vision Train, and how she's encouraging. It's Vision Train. It's on Facebook. It's basically a group of all visionary artists who are putting together and painting together and sculpting together, and it's all visionary art. And so there's a real encouragement to come out, and in visionary art there's this expansion of authentic reflection, which I think you're holding so well in that musical element. And the only other type of music I've heard kind of do this really is like kirtan, bhakti, kirtan vibes, where there is that sort of sacred communion. But yours is so much more radical and exciting. I feel like I want to play this other clip I've got, which is more recent.
I just want to say something about what you just said. I think that now in this time and the way I'm feeling is that it's going to be somebody else who does all these things now. I'm old and I'm and in terms of whether we have a weekend with people or not, I've done a lot of things and I'm just not willing to sit down and make a schedule and do it.
So what are you wanting to do? What is the future for your prayer?
I'm doing it.
You're doing it, just performing, just performing.
Our public work is
right now. I feel like I'm holding this planet together.
Yeah, it's enough.
Honestly, I feel like the resonant field we're putting out is emanating from the Bay Area around this planet. We're the only beings really in full voice coming off this planet anymore, because everything's been shut down. People can't make a bunch of racket anymore. So in a certain sense, let's say we have aliens watching the planet. It's the first time there are voices coming off the planet that are not full of greed and stupidity, that are resonating out of the planet that they can hear. I don't know, then that's one of those really wild constructs, and yet it's true. I don't believe that we're alone in the universe. I believe that almost all the emanations from this planet have been warlike, have been greedy, have been total about let's take advantage of this shit.
Absolutely.
And everything shut down. The whole planet shut down because everybody's and we're doing this thing full of love, full of resonating all the other tunnels, all the other sacred spaces as we do it, because people are not having tours through it. We feel so embodied in our work right now. We really do.
And we've had a few people say to us, kind of saying, get ready for people to ask questions. People to be interested in asking you how and why and in what way are you able to do this, because for a really long time we've been basically hidden and felt like we were very much under the radar and not really seen very much, because TV and music and shows and blah, so much louder and bigger
Much.
than and technological and all this than we could be. But now that we're in this space where everything's shut down and we're the ones that are able to come up and be heard, we really can see that what we're doing is all we ever need to do. We don't need a big setup or a big microphone or a big speaker or a big venue or thousands of people watching us. It's just the power of that genuine, real, honest, true, humble, gentle, quiet, powerful expression in the tunnel.
And that really is the truth, and that's where people have been getting way outside themselves, and I have to give up.
Yeah.
And really, if we all do in our true selves with that small, humble thing, we are bliss here.
Yeah. Everybody did that.
We're bliss.
I think that's beautifully said, both of you. And in fact, Lila, you know, we were talking just the other day about how you actually feel genuinely happier than you ever have in your life, because you've somewhere surrendered this notion that you have to do more, that you should be bigger, that you should be better, that you've got to keep going. And can you tell us about that?
I think because I'm younger, I have struggled with this for a long time, feeling, you know, that ego thing would come up in me real hard and really strong, and really push me into a space of, well, you're not famous. Well, you don't have a fan base. You don't, what do you have? What do you have to show for what you've done for the last 10 years? Blah, 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 all that mental bullshit. And it would come up really strong in me and make me feel like we needed to have more presence online, that we should have more indoor shows and be more legitimized and all that stuff. And it would make me miserable, and it'd make me scared and sad and disturbed. Looking at other musicians who are my age or younger, who are much more famous and much more recognized and all that. And now that everything's shut down and all those people can't do anything, they're stuck in their houses and they can't play, no matter how famous they are or how much money they have. And it just completely switched the dichotomy of those feelings, that I don't need to be recognized or famous or you know, rich or anything, just so long as I'm able to do this work. Because that is the most important thing. Everything else comes to us through playing, through performance. Everything we need, the emotional stability, the financial help, the
hummingbird twittering off to the side,
the trees blowing in the wind, the love, connecting.
The reconnection with nature, the reconnection with each other.
It's just a reminder of what's important.
And so somewhere you realized the freedom you had was the most valuable thing, and the freedom to be your prayer, be your prayer.
That we can do it. We can still do it. And in another context, I would have thought we wouldn't be able to anymore, that we'd have to stop, and we can still do the work.
Do you feel that this is an interesting realization that other people could take advantage of, that could benefit from? The kind of stop and realize what you've got, and that life is not to be found like out there in the final chapter, like, oh, I'm working my way towards life, and all the time I'm not living until I get to my goal point.
Yeah, they really have to they have to work that one out. That's one of the things happening right now.
Like, you got to fix the makeup.
Yeah.
Primary. You know, Z always fixes
the eyes are exploding. Yeah, it's just it's for us, it's a recentering and
for us, it's like we just stepped into a situation where it's like I had been having my augury for a long time. I mean, that is one of my blessings of performance, is that my mind expands so much that I can just look at anything and just perceive and augur. And I knew something was coming.
Wait, I didn't get that word. Augurate.
Auguring.
What's that? Auguring.
Look into the depths of things, I guess.
What a great word. What is it? Auguring.
Yeah, Augur.
Okay, carry on. Auguring. I'm gonna look
August,
it
I
up
think
after.
August is along the same realm of that. There's a beautiful word. I agree with
Ah, yeah, I'm going to check it
you.
out.
The I seek epiphanies when I play. I have placed it in a certain construct so that I will always look for epiphanies, experience epiphanies, and if I'm really looking at a subject, then it opens up for me while I play, because I'm so occupied. I'm doing so much. I am so multitasking that my mind is free to just be freely exploring stuff without any restraint. And I, of all the things that I do, I find that to be that is the most important thing, because that is the gift that I got through my struggles of self-love. Well, I wanted to say something else about something that we just went through. The thing that I wanted to speak of, it's a long way back, is the America's Got Talent. When I look at that right now, I don't see it the same way I saw it then. I was really upset with that experience.
You were rageful then.
Yeah. Number one, I've gone through a rage purge right before COVID-19. And it was absolutely the most important thing that I had to do before coming through this cycle. Changing the rage was important, but also looking at it, I see me touching the ground at the end, and I cannot. When I did that, and I was on stage and I touched the ground, I was going, "Oh my God, I did it!" And what I did was that I was able to get through their stoning and their meanness and all their stuff to bless the stage. I still was able to get it done. And that's the truth of that, of when I see that now. And when I look at it, I'm like, and I watch for that. I watch and it's like, oh, fuck, that is the most amazing thing I did, is that through all of this, I was able to give my love and touch this stage. I remember looking at the stage and looking at what reaching down and touching the stage. I was like, oh, fuck, that's it. So I just wanted to say that.
No, it's good, but I like the rage purge. It's almost like I was speaking to Swami Beyondananda. He was talking about tantrum yoga. You know, having a bit of tantrum yoga.
I didn't get that.
Tantrum yoga.
That's excellent.
Yeah, he made it up because he plays on words. He's Swami Beyondananda. He's basically a comic who plays a Swami to give plays on different words and different ways of looking at things and stuff. So he's saying, yes, and I did some tantrum yoga, and then it was over. I laughed because it's funny, you know. Laugh, it's a joke. You know.
The rage was one of those things that as we got to the end of our cycle, and our 10 years together, she had something that she needed to do, that was to play by herself, and I had to get rid of my rage. Once we did that, the alchemy was set for us to get to the next stage, which is COVID-19.
So funny.
Right.
And we knew something was happening. We knew that we told each other, like, within the next 6 months to a year, something's going to happen that's going to change everything. And it's going to be really positive for the two of us.
Yeah, but we don't, I mean, it could look really weird.
No idea that it was going to be something like this.
Well, it has to look weird if it's for you two.
There was no understanding how we would ever be able to be heard. And,
no understanding.
And it's not like anything in our life has really physically changed. We're in the same place. We're living in the same house. We're playing in the same tunnel. It's us that changes, you know. And that is always what it is. You always go, oh, duh. It was me that was changing. It wasn't anything else around me.
Maybe it was you that wanted to hear yourself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're talking about this. And we often do this search for the better us. Like when I'm a famous this, or when I'm a successful this, then it will be different. Then my work will be heard. When really, you know, it's this as above, so below, making the changes inside the self seems to be the resounding message from all these interviews.
Yeah, that is, yeah, and that's really what's happened is we've changed in that there's no ego about what we're doing. There's no, oh, we deserve more this or that, or why aren't we this or that or the other thing. It's just we are. And how blessed can we be that we can just be and go out and share that. And we have faith that doing this, through doing our magical bliss, heavenly dance that we get to do, that we will be sustained and we will be acknowledged and we will be seen, instead of wondering or questioning or being afraid.
And using all the tools of that past age to do it. And the age has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's different now, and will be different, and everybody's going to have to get used to that change.
And what does that mean?
And what does that mean?
We don't know yet.
But for us, it's like, oh my God, we started running and we're running like mad. I'm in almost bliss every day, in an ecstatic state almost all the time now.
So amazing that we can have that experience.
Unbelievable.
And we're going to go out and play right after we're going to go play again, just because we can.
I could also say, Mark,
Yeah.
that one of the things that I really take and I transform is fear. In a certain sense, when you talk about fear, it's almost like if somebody's throwing fear towards me, it almost gives me energy. Me sing even more beautiful and more wonderfully. And so when COVID-19 hit and the fear just blew up around the world, it just exploded around the world. I went into this hugely excited state. I needed to go out and play. I needed to transform. I needed to work with this energy immediately. It was just shocking. And she had gotten a fear. She had gotten the internet virus, which I warned her about and I talked about. And I said, the internet has a virus too. It's not just this thing. There's an internet virus of fear coming through the internet, and you need to not look at it too much.
Right.
And at first she did. And so it caused her to say, oh, right, what happened? And I said, we were going out and playing.
And we did. And the rest is history.
Amazing. I am so happy that you, as transmuters of the sacred mirror, are present in our world and physically close to me.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure and an honor. Where can people find you?
Nowhere. On Markabadi show.
Oh, they must be. You've got a tunnel. Where's the tunnel you play?
Are we telling people?
I mean, why not tell people?
We perform
Well,
in.
if since you are magical beings and we believe in the esoteric nature of what you do, Markabadi, we're in Golden Gate Park, and right near the House of Flowers, there's a tunnel that goes under this road, and we play there like little fairies.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
There you
afternoon.
go.
When the
There
sun
you
is
go.
shining.
Golden Gate Park. If you're around Golden Gate Park, by the House of Flowers, find the little fairies if you can. If you can.
You can
Yeah,
find
that's
us.
it.
It's such a pleasure to have you both on, and I'm so one of my deep pleasures of being in Savannah in San Francisco was to meet you two and the man the sage. You were my favorite, like my
Definitely.
my
Cool.
happy
That's
places.
cool.
Yay!
So thank you once again. I do feel
Our blessing to have met you
That's
also
such a
at that
blessing.
time. That was the best.
That's one more thing I wanted to say is that
Yes.
that's another thing that's changed and is beautiful is that we no longer feel like we have to like wondering if people care about us and wondering if, feeling like we're alone. We feel really held by our community, even though we don't physically see people and we're not physically with people.
And what do you think's changed in the sense of, will it carry on after people can see each other? Like, what's the difference in self where you've gone, you know what, I'm no longer searching for approval from the outside world?
Just really embracing what is. really, I mean, it's a simple life that we live in a way. You could say we're at home, then we bike 5 minutes to the tunnel, then we bike 5 minutes to the grocery store, and then we bike home, and we go 3 different places on any given day. That's not changed, but we're accepting and at peace with the way it is.
Yeah, we're at peace with it, and that's really one of the things that I think is bothering a lot of people right now. They're not at peace with it. And that really is how it's healed, because the fear is really hurting people. Fear draws things to you instead of and it's the peace that enables you to dance through whatever comes.
Everything else is manifested. All the dreams that we have, I believe it 100%, that through the peace and serenity of just being now, here now, that everything else that we dream of will manifest. We don't have to worry or be afraid of what we don't know, of the unknown. Just embrace that we don't know.
We also would like to thank all the magical people in the Bay Area, and all, because we are all holding protection in this area. I consider that the densest. This is the densest area for magical people in the world. Potent magical people who hold space, can be present. So I'm just a shout out and a thank you to everybody for doing their spirit work now at this time. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And of course that was, also Matthew Human, who was on before you. He started off and basically be the simplest human you can be, and you ended up with that same notion, accepting the simple life, be at peace with it, be at peace. And I think even if you want to make your world complex, first be at peace.
Yep.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, you beautiful fairy, pixie, unicorny weirdos.
Yay!
Love you. Such a pleasure, such an honor. Do you have any? What about a website or anything? How can can people see anything digitally?
I'm not online
We're not
anymore.
really online. We've kind of shut everything down. So you find us if you find us.
All right. And if people are desperate to support you and give you money, they can contact me and I'll get it to you. But I love the state that you're in now, which is it's bliss. It's acceptance bliss, and it's even more honoring what you're doing now. It's even more. I didn't think it could be more.
I didn't either. I didn't think it could get any better.
I think I want to end playing another video clip of yours from a show you did in 2018 called Pentagram.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that now. And this is kind of how I sort of first experienced you. Not actually here, but. Such an experience. It's like, it just is unity. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's like, you know, live, it's even more. It's obviously, as you know.
Can't capture it on a video, or that's the other thing about it, is we can't really be captured.
Yeah, it's difficult. I do want to suggest the 360 camera. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I think it's
that in the middle of you.
It's a good investment. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, thank you so much for coming on. I love you both. Mucho, mucho mas.
Love you.
I'll take that blue lip kiss any day.
Love you.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. Wow, what a Feel It Friday. What a Feel It Friday.
Friday. We're going back out.
You're going back out. Go back out into the world. All right, I'll close this off. Thank you, Lila and Thoth. Thank you, Matthew Human. It has been such a wonderful Feel It Friday. Gosh, right. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember that it's the simplest bit. That's where the magic is. Be the simplest human first. You want to go out and do your complexity? Don't worry. First, master the simplicity of now. The simplicity of now, the simplicity of you. And that's fucking easy, mate. It's a lot easier than you think it is. In fact, it's behind the first moment of effort you make into trying to get it.
Yeah.
Just before. Just like, I'm about to, no, just go. In that simplicity, in that place, that's where your divine self resides. Everyone's fucking got it. You've got it, mate. Everyone's got it. It's you. And if you access that and remember it, then your center of self will cease to be here in the like, oh God, I've got to look over there, and will become present. Holy shit. I'm already fucking perfect.
Yep.
Now, what do I want to do with this perfect me? And you can do anything. The answer is anything after that. First step, remember. Yeah. All right, good. Next week, we've got some great people. I'll list some few. We've got Bhakti House Band. We've got Lucian Tarnowski. We've got Megan, Jeffrey Armstrong, Zach Baraka. Friday, we have some fantastic people. Monday morning, Bhakti House Band and Deerheart. I have a book, Book Evolve. Check it out, bookevolve.com. My name is Markabadi. It is a pleasure. Remember, be kind to everyone, especially yourselves. Simple is best. Thank you to my guests, my wonderful beings, my beautiful, Enjoy the weekend, my love.
Enjoy the weekend.
Love you.
Love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.